Hello and welcome to part 3 of basic configuration changes in Matrix Gemini LIMS. What I wanted to show today was a little bit more detail on auto-generating screens and controlling changes. So let's go out of this section and go back to the top level. Now perhaps I wanted to generate a second registration screen which is slightly different to the first. That's perfectly possible in this flow. You might have different types of registrations. So what I'm going to do here is put a separate button in here for slightly different registrations. So I'm going to put this down here, and I might call this Alt or something like this. So I might call that Alternate, for instance. Now rather than just save that, what I wanted to do was call up a different screen to that previous one. This screen won't yet be available, so we'll call that TD sample registration screen, sample reg, and then we'll save that. There we go. So this is now the top level screen, and we've created this new version. So this is our usual sample registration screen. You can see we've got our changes on here we've done previously, and this is the alternate registration screen, and this is a default registration screen which you can then change to suit your needs. If the registration screens don't exist, it creates them automatically and you carry on with any further changes you want. So that's auto generation of screens. Now the last thing I wanted to do was just discuss about changes and controlling changes. So the best way of showing you that is to look at this sample registration screen and see the changes we already have done. Remember in the previous parts of this series we added location, a sample registration date, and the sample date, and the weather pull down list and such like. If we go to the configuration tools and look for that screen in here, and we called that RNC sample reg, you can see that this is still checked out, and that actually means that only I can see those changes. Everybody else would see the previous version. So if I look in the history, I can view a previous version of this, and that will be what everyone else sees in the lab. So there you go. What we can do here is to check this in now, and then everyone in the lab will see it. So if I check that in, that version 10 is now available for everyone to see. So if I view that, that's being used by everybody else in the lab. If I look at the history, my version 9 is the previous version. So that's that, or I could go back to an even earlier version than that if I wanted to. So, version 8 or version 7 or previous ones, to see how this has changed over time. And I could go back to those earlier versions if I wanted to, just by restoring them. So for instance, if I wanted to go back to version 9, I would just restore this. There we go. And you can see it's created a version 11, which was in fact 9. So if I open this up again, it goes back to the original. Instead of job, it's called lot. There's no location, there's no pull down here for the weather, there's no separate date in here for when you actually sampled it and registered it. It's all just one date. So this is changing it back to the screen how we started it, and because it's checked in, everybody in the lab would see those changes. Okay, so that's controlling changes in the Matrix Gemini LIMS editor, and I hope that makes a little bit of sense to you guys. If you wanted some more information, then please feel free to contact us, and I'll just show you that again as this. So please feel free to contact us on any of those numbers, or via the webpage autoscribeinformatics.com. Okay, well thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy making changes with the configuration tools in Matrix Gemini LIMS. Thank you very much.